meeting was important. It was there that they were told what the holiday task was going to be, and it was always something nice. Last year they had gone to the seaside at Southend to put the evil eye on a plague of jellyfish which was bothering holidaymakers, and they had spent a happy week in the Grand Hotel. The year before they had gone to Scotland to deal with a gang of cattle rustlers which was threatening a herd of Highland cows. The scenery had been quite beautiful, and everyone had come back feeling strong and well. It was always fun, the summer task. It meant that they met all the other unusual creatures like themselves, and had a break from their daily lives.
"I'll go and tell Gladys," said the hag.
Because the hag was a kind of witch, she had a familiar, an animal that helped her with her magic. Gladys was a toad. She lived in the backyard under a stone, so now the hag went out to give Gladys the good news.
"We're off to the meeting next week, Gladys,"
said the hag. Gladys came out from under the stone. She came out very, very slowly. She opened one eye, then she shut it again, and said a single word. "Tired."
"What do you mean, tired?" said the hag. "I'm tired, everyone's tired. They got tired in the war when their houses were bombed and food was rationed and all that, and they've been tired ever since, but we have to do our work."
Gladys turned her back on the hag and began to crawl towards her stone.
"Are you telling me you aren't coming to the meeting?"
cried the hag. Gladys did not answer, but her back end looked obstinate.
"But I can't go without a familiar, it's impossible."
The troll shook his head.
"It's a bad business," he said, "but it's no good forcing her. She was always a bad-tempered animal. Goodness knows what she might get up to if you dragged her to the meeting against her will."
"But what am I going to do?"
cried the hag. "Could you perhaps get another familiar?" suggested Mr. Prendergast. "There's a whole week to go."
"A week's nothing," cried the hag. "Oh, nothing's gone right since I left the dribble."
But she was a brave person, and soon pulled herself together. And the next day, the hunt for a new familiar began. The hag's friends did their best to help. The fishmonger, whose mother had been a selkie, one of those people that is a seal by day and a human at night, offered her the pick of his fish. Not the dead fish on the slab, of course, but the live ones in a tank, which he kept for customers who liked their fish to be absolutely fresh. "There's a nice flounder there," he said, but the hag was doubtful.
"It's really kind of you," she said, "but fish are so difficult to transport."
Two witches who worked as nannies wheeling babies through the park took her to Kensington Gardens because they had seen a tufted duck on the pond that they thought might be trained up to be magical, but it was sitting on a clutch of eggs and looking broody, and one thing that familiars never do is sit on nests and breed. The next day, the hag took a bus to Trafalgar Square, where she remembered having seen a pigeon with a mad gleam in its eyes. The square was absolutely crammed with pigeons in those days, but though she paced backwards and forwards among the birds for a whole hour, she couldn't find that particular bird again.
"We'd better try the zoo,"
said the troll. So they took the bus to Regent's Park. There were lynxes and pumas and jaguars, but the hag knew that they would not be happy in Whipple Road. Not one of the creatures she saw really met her eye. The harpy eagles seemed to be half asleep. The serpents lay under their sun lamps and wouldn't move.
"Oh, what is the matter with the world?"
cried the hag when she got home again.
"When I was young, any animal would have been proud to serve a hag or a wizard or a witch."
They were sitting sadly at the kitchen table when there was a knock on the door, and Mrs. Brainsweller came to borrow some sugar.
"I've had so many funerals this week I hardly know which way up I am," she said, "and it's made me all behind with the shopping."
Mrs. Brainsweller was a banshee, one of those tall, thin fays who wail when people die, and they are very much in demand at funerals.
"You look a bit down in the mouth,"
she said, when the hag had fetched the sugar, so they told her what had happened. Mrs. Brainsweller said,
Bri will make you a familiar. There's nothing he couldn't do if he tried."
Bri was the banshee's